about like over here, so you get this green. Does that look good? Or?
What is this place we're in?
This is our Urban Vision Aquaponics Greenhouse, and the main vision behind this is a couple of things. Number one, we want to teach our team leaders how to run a business, so they'll actually be utilizing this facility as a business venture point for them to learn to do gardening and sell the vegetation. Some to Urban Vision, some to the community. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is we want our community to be able to have options of healthy, fresh foods that they don't have today at reasonable cost.
Okay.
And so as we provide food in here, peppers or cucumbers, tomatoes or squash or whatever it might be, or lettuce, and be able to buy that instead of usually it's the bad food that's cheap.
Okay.
So as well as the fish, selling fish. That's what aquaponics is.
Now, what is aquaponics?
Yeah.
Explain this. I don't think the average person who hears that word has any idea what that means.
Right. Well, my best explanation, because I'm not an expert by any means, but as I'm taught over the last couple months, aquaponics is the doing gardening with the use of fish, and it's all natural. Fish waste and water being pumped into a bed that allows the nutrients then to go into the plants, and they filter out the water, and the water comes back to the fish tank, allowing the fish to have fresh water and oxygen as it comes into the fish tank. So it's all natural. There's no chemicals or additives. It's pretty maintenance free. It's very simple to do. And in some fashions, it's not simple to set up, but it's once it's set up, it's very simple to run.
So how long did it take you guys to set up the building here and get everything working?
It took, I would say, probably about 8 weeks worth of construction, of getting the ground ready for it, building the shell of the greenhouse, and then building the grow beds and the fish tanks being dug out. All that was about an 8-week process. And we've been about 8 weeks now of actually growing. This vegetation here has been here for about 8 weeks, planted.
So what is this?
This is cilantro.
Cilantro, okay.
Whereas this has been here since about Christmas time, so it's been about 6 weeks that it's been going. Same with this. Some other things we've planted that are up after 2 weeks.
Okay. So at what point would you determine, for instance, when you would need to harvest this or that?
Well, it's all about what size of the plant is supposed to get to. I think in these ones here, this is all romaine lettuce, and each of these is a head of lettuce, so they'll actually, you pull off mature leaves and it'll keep on giving over and over again for a long time. So we're hopeful.
So you're hopeful, okay. So how do you, managing keeping the temperature in a cold winter environment like this at the right temperature is something very difficult. How do you guys manage that process?
Yeah, like right now it's actually about 24 degrees outside.
It's cold.
Which is
nice and warm in here.
A warmer day.
Yeah.
And in here we're at 54 degrees in the air, but the water temperature that actually keeps the bed roots warm. Actually, this water on this side is running at 70 degrees right now. That's run by our boiler heat from our facility that comes out around our fish tanks.
So you're telling me you ran a line from your building all the way out to the greenhouse? Yes,
there's a line out here running the boiler water around the fish tanks, keeping it warm. So the fish won't eat if the water gets too cold, and so they start to hibernate during the winter. So we have to keep the water warm to keep the beds warm, but also so that the fish eat, so that the fish have waste to come into the grow beds to bring about growth. So that's the way the system works. There's no soil in any of the grow beds. This is all rock. So it's just a rock combination, and by the water coming through, it filters out the waste that the plants eat and gives the clean water that way.
So if you could look down the road, maybe a year, 2 years down the road, 3 years down there, what's your bigger vision of what you would hope that this would come? Or
well, this is actually phase 1 of what it could be.
Really?
Depending on how successful this goes.
Okay.
And the kids learning how to do business. That's my heart, is to teach them that side so they can start their own businesses someday and help our community. And I want to keep at the heart of that they're trying to help their community have healthy food. So I want to teach them that ethical side of business.
Sure.
But this actually system could actually, the next phase in this part of the facility is running pipes that the water would come down through that the roots just dangle in. If you've been to Disney World, they have that same kind of thing.
I've seen that at Disney World, yeah.
And they have the big fish tanks, and the
Yes.
fish water comes through. And,
Yeah.
and Disney's food is really good fruit and everything else. It's always like
Yeah.
the best. That's how they grow their stuff.
Okay.
And so we are talking about the next phase of eventually potentially adding that. We want to see that we're successful with what we have first.
Okay.
Get settled in that and get some produce. How much produce do we have? Are we selling it all? As in a business, if you're not selling all the produce you have, you don't need more capacity.
Sure.
So first we want to sell the capacity we have.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that's the lessons we'll be teaching.
Okay.
So
So that's stage 2.
that would be the next phase.
Yeah, yeah.
And then
You said there's another one after that?
oh sure, there's more.
Yeah,
We'll
okay.
worry, if we could sell phase 2, we'll worry about phase 3. We'll get to that in another interview.
Well, thank you, Rodney. I really appreciate your explanation, and that's pretty sweet. Thanks for explaining, what's going on here
problem.
and the heart behind it. Thank you.
Thanks.